On April 22, 2025, the serene beauty of Pahalgam, Kashmir was shattered by a horrific act of terrorism. Gunmen opened fire on a tourist bus, transforming a journey of joy into a scene of unimaginable carnage. 26 innocent lives were extinguished that day. Most of the victims were Hindu pilgrims, adding a communal layer to the tragedy. This attack, one of the deadliest in Kashmir in recent years, sent shockwaves throughout the nation and beyond. The tranquility of Pahalgam, a place known for its breathtaking landscapes, was replaced by the chilling silence of grief and disbelief. The attack was a stark reminder of the vulnerability of innocent lives to the scourge of terrorism. It highlighted the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat that lurks in the shadows. The victims, hailing from different walks of life, were united in their pursuit of happiness amidst the beauty of Kashmir. Their dreams were cut short, leaving behind a trail of shattered families and a community grappling with trauma. The echoes of gunshots in the idyllic valley served as a grim reminder of the human cost of hatred and violence. The immediate aftermath of the attack was characterized by chaos and grief. As news of the tragedy spread, families were left to grapple with the unbearable pain of losing their loved ones. The community, united in mourning, came together to support the bereaved families. The attack left an indelible mark on the collective psyche of the people, raising questions about security and the need for unity in the face of adversity. The incident served as a grim reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of safeguarding it. The responsibility for this heinous act was claimed by a group calling itself the Resistance Front, or TRF. Indian authorities believe this group has ties to Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Pakistani-based terrorist organization behind the 2008 Mumbai attacks. While investigations are ongoing, the incident has already inflamed tensions between India and Pakistan, two nuclear-armed neighbors with a long history of conflict. The attack has once again brought the troubled region of Kashmir into sharp focus, underscoring the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. The Pahalgam attack sent shockwaves through the international community, but nowhere was the impact felt more acutely than in India and Pakistan. The already fragile relationship between the two nuclear-armed neighbors plummeted to a new low. India, enraged by the loss of innocent lives, accused Pakistan of harboring and supporting the terrorists responsible. Pakistan, in turn, vehemently denied any involvement and condemned the attack. The diplomatic fallout was swift and severe. India downgraded diplomatic ties with Pakistan, expelling diplomats and suspending the Indus Water Treaty, a vital agreement governing water sharing between the two nations. Additionally, India launched search and destroy operations within Kashmir, bolstering troop numbers along the line of control and conducting air and naval drills. The message was clear: India was prepared to take decisive action to protect its interests and citizens. Pakistan responded with countermeasures of its own. Trade relations were suspended, Pakistani airspace was closed to Indian aircraft, and Indian diplomats were expelled from Islamabad. The Pakistani government warned India against any attempt to restrict the flow of the Indus River, a lifeline for Pakistan's agriculture, calling it an act of war. The situation quickly escalated into a tense standoff, with both sides exchanging fire across the line of control. The international community watched with growing alarm, urging both sides to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue. The United Nations called for maximum restraint, fearing a repeat of the 2019 Balakot crisis, when airstrikes by both countries brought them to the brink of war. Analysts warned that any miscalculation or escalation could have catastrophic consequences, not just for India and Pakistan, but for the entire region. The Pahalgam attack served as a stark reminder of the volatility of the India-Pakistan relationship and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution to the Kashmir conflict. In the wake of the Pahalgam attack, it's crucial to remember that terrorism is not a problem confined to any one religion, nationality, or ethnicity. To paint it as such is not only inaccurate, but also dangerously divisive. Terrorism is a global scourge with a long and bloody history, and its perpetrators come from all walks of life, motivated by a toxic brew of ideology, grievance, and a lust for power. Attributing terrorism to a particular religion is like blaming all storms on a single cloud. It's a simplistic and misleading narrative that ignores the complex realities of this global threat. History is replete with examples of terrorist acts committed in the name of various ideologies, from far-right extremism to left-wing radicalism. The Ku Klux Klan, driven by white supremacist ideology, terrorized African Americans in the United States for decades. The Irish Republican Army, or IRA, fighting for a united Ireland, carried out bombings and assassinations in the United Kingdom. These are just a few examples that demonstrate the diverse nature of terrorism, transcending religious boundaries and encompassing a wide range of motivations. Even in the present day, we see terrorist groups espousing a variety of ideologies. White supremacist groups, fueled by hatred and xenophobia, have carried out attacks in the United States, New Zealand and Norway. Left-wing extremist groups motivated by anti-capitalist or environmentalist ideologies have been responsible for bombings and arson attacks in various parts of the world. To focus solely on religiously motivated terrorism is to ignore a significant portion of the problem. The reality is that terrorism is a complex phenomenon with deep roots in political, social, and economic inequalities. It thrives on fear, hatred, and division. Attributing terrorism to a single religion only serves to further these divisions, making it more difficult to address the root causes of this global threat. We must avoid simplistic narratives and work together to build a more just and equitable world where terrorism finds no fertile ground to take root. Sadly, in the aftermath of terrorist attacks, there is often a rush to blame Islam, even when the perpetrators themselves may not be particularly religious. This knee-jerk reaction is fueled by prejudice, ignorance, and a dangerous us versus them mentality. It's essential to remember that the vast majority of Muslims are peaceful people who abhor violence just as much as anyone else. In fact, they are often the primary victims of terrorist groups like ISIS, who twist and distort Islamic teachings to justify their barbarity. The demonization of Islam and Muslims is not only morally wrong, but also counterproductive. It alienates and marginalizes entire communities, creating fertile ground for radicalization. When people feel like they are being targeted and demonized because of their faith, they are more likely to be receptive to extremist ideologies that offer a sense of belonging and purpose. Instead of fighting terrorism, Islamophobia ends up becoming a recruiting tool for terrorist organizations. The reality is that terrorism has no religion. It's a perversion of faith, a betrayal of basic human values. To equate Islam with terrorism is to buy into the very propaganda that terrorist groups peddle. It's to allow them to define Islam on their own terms, rather than on the terms of the millions of peaceful Muslims who live their lives according to the true spirit of their faith. A faith that emphasizes compassion, justice, and peace. Instead of giving in to fear and prejudice, we need to stand in solidarity with our Muslim brothers and sisters. We need to challenge Islamophobia whenever and wherever we see it. We need to amplify the voices of moderate Muslims who are speaking out against extremism. Only by working together can we create a world where everyone feels safe and respected, regardless of their faith.